Good God morning. I pray that you will take a minute and listen to this and please consider sharing it. I'm going to call this our devotional for this morning because when I got up this morning, this is what I heard the word that said, wait, tell them, don't speak, don't go. I feel the Holy Spirit even now as I heard him say, tell them, wait, don't go, don't speak. Because a whole lot of us are preparing for events, are preparing for, getting with family for a whole lot of reasons, whether it's graduation celebration or whether it's, after church event or just getting with someone to fellowship and have some time together. But there's so much going on that is silent with a lot of people that they're going and speaking before time. And a lot of time, God just wants us to take a minute. So I'm going to read what He gave me as I began to venture on hearing this. Now, actually, when I heard this, I didn't obey God and say it yesterday. And so today, I'm obeying Him and saying it today. So I repented for that this morning and said, God, help me to deliver this word for those who don't want to hear. I pray that you would hear. And so it's coming from the NIV, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 2 that says, do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven and you are on earth. So let your words be few. A lot of times we talk and we don't even realize we're talking because our behavior depicts what we're thinking in our heart, the abundance of our heart, the behavior. And so the thing that we're thinking, the thing that you thought about before you got up this morning and when you went to bed, you even had those thoughts. You thought about going, you didn't want to go, you feel like I'm just going to go, I'm just going to go and I'm not going to say anything. But your body language and what's in your heart is speaking. And so God wanted me to give you this particular message that I received after I started to research about why He wanted me to say this. And I started to look at different quotes about us not speaking before time. And many are speaking in their hearts, the abundance of their hearts. Look at what she got on when they walk into church. Look at him. Lord have mercy. They got them up there on that organ still, and they know that person is dealing with the same sex. They got all of these things in their heart speaking, and God is watching right in the church. The abundance of our hearts are speaking. And it says here, everything you say should be true, but not everything true should be said. And so this is why we have to deal with the abundance of our heart. It also says here in a quote, think before you speak. Your words could hurt someone's feeling more than you intended it to. Yes, we say things sometimes and say, well, that's just what I feel. That's just who I am. Well, no, that's really what's in your heart. And it goes on to say, before you speak, listen. Okay. Many times we don't listen because we don't really want to hear what the other person has to say. This is why controversies continue to go on and people be upset with each other. So we've got to listen. How are you going to be able to communicate anything when somebody is not trying to listen? So shut your mouth, listen, pay attention, and guess what? Your eyes can talk too. So just be very careful how you doing your eyes and your body language. And it goes on to say, let nothing be said about anyone unless it passes through the three C's. That means that it is true, okay? Making sure that everything that you say, you know that it's from God and not from your flesh and not from your pain. It goes on to say, before you put your foot in your mouth again, take a look at these awesome think before you speak quotes that I have said so far and think about nothing, not anything happens. It don't just happen. It was already happening. And so we have a tendency to say, oh, well, I was just going through that right now. I just want to go and get that off my chest. You're right. It's your chest that where your heart lives. Think about that. Not everything we think needs to be said aloud. Not everything you got an opinion about needs to be typed to text. Not everything you want to give your opinion about need to be posted on Facebook, any other social network. I believe that God is talking to you to say, wait, don't go. Don't go to the event. You don't want to go. Wait, don't speak. You shouldn't be saying anything because God is talking to you about what's in your heart. what you've been thinking about. So why are you going? Are you going just because you want to make sure everybody's saying, oh, she did show up, girl. Oh, yeah, bro, he came. What are you going to do about what you're thinking? Because what you're thinking is already in your heart. It goes on to say there is a beauty in silence. Oh, people know me because I'm pretty much introvert anyway. And silence speaks a whole lot. It speaks a whole lot if you just be quiet. There is beauty in silence that gets lost when we decide to break it. I love that one. It gets lost because we decide to break it. God is saying, when you going to let me talk? All we're looking for is his hand. And he's saying, do you want my heart, son? Do you want my heart, daughter? Then let me talk to you about what I want you to know what's in your heart. It goes on to say, it only takes 600 milliseconds for the human brain to think of a word. Apply the rules of grammar and send it to the mouth to be spoken aloud. Think about that. If you think about what you're thinking and what we're taught in school, how we're supposed to say a word, before we know it, the abundance of your heart is going to beat that out. And before you know, you said it. That's why I said, don't say it. Don't say it. I don't care how mad you are. Don't say it. I don't care how tired you are. Don't say it. You need to say it to God, like, help me, God. Help my heart, God. Help the hardness of my heart. Help me, Lord, for what I'm thinking about that person. Help me, God. And the way you gauge that is Galatians chapter 5. Is your fruit hanging high or is your fruit hanging low? Many times it's hanging low because we want to speak something because we figure I had to just get that out. I just had to make sure they understand where I'm coming from. Well, God knew you were going to do it before you even did it. So we got to think about this 600 milliseconds. It says, no wonder many people say things they do not mean or have not enough thought about first. They say it because they don't really care. They just say it because they want to make sure that you get read by them, or that you read the post and say, top that when they hit that send, on the text. I want to make sure you top that. And when God is saying, now you got to eat the fruit that you sowed. We don't think that, do we? don't think that through. That's why he said, let your words be fruit for you. Let your heart think about the abundance of it. It goes on to say, a very observant, anonymous poet once remarked that light travels, check this out, light travels faster than sound. That is why some people appear bright until you hear them speak. Ain't that something? I never forget when I was a young girl, and I was what they call, whatever that means, a cussing sailor. Every time we went to lunch, I was calling people's name and cussing them out, who got on my nerves in the office. And I'll never forget one day, she said, Sandy, I really like you. She said, but you just cuss too much. She said, you cuss all the time. She said, you know what? And I never, ever see the scars on your face until you cuss. Isn't that something? Say like that. So the darkness, hallelujah, the darkness appeared, and the light, the glory of God just disappeared. Every time I would cuss and call people out their names and all of that, then she said to me, and I never forgot that, she said, you just shouldn't cuss like that. It just takes away the beauty in you. You're such a beautiful person. But that cussing got to go, girl. She said, I just don't really want to go to lunch with you no more if you keep that cussing up. And she was saved, fire baptized, and that young girl taught me something. It's better to keep your mouth shut and pray. Okay, it's better to ask God to help you with the thing that so easily beset you. You know that thing is hard for you to deal with. You know that person is hard and difficult. Be quiet and say, God, help me. So when I got back in the office, I thought about the one who always get on my nerves. I would get to be very, very quiet and didn't say anything. I know that shocked her. I didn't say anything. I don't care how she irritated me. I would just say, okay, and just keep on working. But it goes on to say here, it can happen if that can happen, and a lot can, in just 600 milliseconds, life-changing words can be uttered. Bonds and friendships that took years to develop can be broken in 600 milliseconds. Say like that. Take your time and read and think about what I just said. Write them down. Those things that you heard here today. And I want you to say like this is what I typed too. I'm going to get off of here. I want you to say like this. We fail to say the right words. Why? Because we choose to say the wrong words. Say like that. What are you going to choose to do today? Are you going to go and you know you don't want to go and you just want to be there to have your heart, Your body language, your head, the things you do, crossing your leg and sitting back then by yourself. And, oh, no, I don't want that. Are you going to let your mouth speak? The abundance of your heart speak through your eyes, through your body language? Or are you just going to be quiet and use the fruit of the Spirit and say, God, I thank you for the love and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. Well, I got to go. I pray this blessed you. And remember, don't go. You're going to be doing that? Don't go. Don't speak. Remember what this Ecclesiastes 5:2 said. Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven. You already know. And you are on earth. So let your words be few. God bless you. I pray that you have a wonderful weekend. And remember, don't even bother to go if you know your mouth and your heart is still working unfruitfulness. Say la.